Welcome to the Explainer. All right, today we're taking a seriously fascinating look under the hood of digital storytelling. We aren't just, exploring history here. We're deconstructing an absolute masterclass in AI video prompting. We're going to break down this incredibly detailed prompt that was designed to generate a totally cinematic origin story for the legendary 12th century Indian king, Prithviraj Chauhan. By analyzing the exact words used to direct the AI, we can see, step by step, how our creator builds a compelling, historically rich narrative completely from scratch. And honestly, this isn't just a fun breakdown of an AI generation, it's practically a toolkit you can take and apply to your very own creative AI projects. So listen to this opening line: a breathtaking sunrise over the Aravalli Hills. I mean, instantly, the prompt just drops us right into the epic atmosphere of 12th century Ajmer. Notice how the creator doesn't start by describing the characters. No, they start with the environment, using a sunrise to basically signal the dawn of a new era. It is a perfect visual hook, and it tells the AI to create a sense of massive scale and awe right from the very first frame. Okay, let's dive into this overarching style constraint, because before the prompt even outlines scene one, it establishes the fundamental visual rules of the game. Ultra-realistic historical cinematic film, 4K UHD Hollywood quality. Now that's not just filler text, right? It is literally the foundational DNA for every single visual cue that follows. AI is incredibly literal, so by explicitly demanding authentic 12th century India, dramatic lighting, epic orchestral background music, and high-quality VFX, the creator ensures the machine doesn't just drift off into some generic fantasy world. They are locking in a highly specific premium aesthetic that's going to govern the whole entire video. Now, you might be wondering about the timeline, so take a look at how this narrative arc is mapped out. It's actually a really clever use of chronological time of day to parallel the life of our hero. The prompt dictates scene one as a breathtaking sunrise, the birth of the story. Then we move into the royal birth, then the bright sunlit royal training of his youth, and finally, scene 7 wraps up at sunset at Taragar Fort. The creator masterfully uses the movement of the sun itself, from dawn all the way to dusk, to visually mirror the birth and growth of the young prince. It's just a beautiful structural choice, giving the AI a very natural lighting progression to follow. Section 1. Setting the cinematic stage. So if we put on our director's hat and analyze the world-building elements of these early scenes, how exactly do you tell a machine to build an ancient empire? Well, you build a world with intense, layered specificity. The prompt deliberately lists out grand forts, ancient temples, bustling markets, elephants, horses, and Rajput soldiers standing guard. But honestly, it's the camera direction that really brings it to life. The prompt actually calls for a cinematic drone shot slowly flies toward the mighty Taragar Fort. When you combine that with golden morning light and light mist, those ultra-precise visual instructions establish this immense scale and a truly epic atmosphere right out of the gate. And then the pacing just completely shifts. We go from that sweeping, majestic drone shot outside to scene 2, inside the royal palace of King Someshvara Chauhan. Here, the prompt dictates cinematic, slow camera movement. And why to do that? Because slow camera movement naturally conveys gravity, power, and the heavy, majestic pride of the Chauhan kingdom. The prompt asks the AI to highlight intricate sandstone pillars, colorful royal banners, and oil lamps. This contrast, moving from the vast, misty morning sky to the really grounded, intricately detailed interior of the court, it just goes to show how deliberate this AI direction really is. Section 2. The Royal Birth and Prophecy. So, the really crucial point here in scene 3 is the emotional pivot. The inciting incident of our hero's journey is, of course, his birth, and the atmosphere shifts entirely to what the prompt explicitly describes as joyful. Notice all the rich sensory details provided to the AI here. Royal women holding the newborn wrapped in luxurious silk cloth, priests chanting sacred prayers while bells ring in the background, flowers showering down from above, smiling citizens dancing with elephants. And crucially, it demands warm, golden lighting, emotional, and joyful atmosphere. The creator is making absolutely sure the AI understands the exact emotional temperature of the scene, not just the physical objects sitting in it. But that joy is quickly grounded by a sense of immense destiny. In scene 4, ancient astrologers are analyzing star charts and palm leaf manuscripts, and they deliver this monumental quote: "He is destined to become a fearless warrior and a legendary king." This right here is what gives the origin story its stakes. The AI isn't just generating a random baby anymore, it's generating a prophecy. And to actually capture the weight of that prophecy, the camera direction radically changes again. We switch to a dramatic, cinematic mood with close-up shots of glowing oil lamps, ancient scrolls, thoughtful faces. By forcing the AI to focus on close-ups rather than wide establishing shots, the prompt makes the prophecy feel deeply intimate, mysterious, and very historically grounded. It's no longer this big public celebration, right? It's a quiet, world-altering revelation. Section 3. The Mighty Rajput Legacy. Having established the prophecy, the prompt expands the scope to show the heavy martial expectations placed on this newborn child, and this brilliantly illustrates the direct comparison of atmospheres dictated to the AI. On one side, you have the soft joy of Scene 3, the flowers, the silk, the chanting. But then on the other side, you get the gritty, epic reality of Scene 5. Here, the prompt demands a powerful montage of Rajput cavalry charging across the desert, armored elephants, rising dust, fluttering saffron flags, and epic wide-angle shots to create a heroic atmosphere. By juxtaposing these two scenes, the creator is instructing the AI to visually contrast the soft luxury of a royal birth with the harsh, wide-angle reality of medieval warfare, the reality the prince is destined to inherit. Now, we absolutely have to talk about one of the most vital parts of any AI video generation, the negative constraints. We're talking modern buildings, modern clothing, firearms, cars, electricity, plastic objects, futuristic technology, or any sort of cartoon or anime style. Now, you might think this is just a technical filter to prevent glitchy imagery, but actually, these negative prompts are crucial storytelling tools. By explicitly telling the AI what not to generate, the creator fiercely protects the authenticity of the 12th century historical aesthetic. It ensures that not a single modern artifact can sneak in and break that immersive, ultra-realistic illusion they've worked so hard to build. Section 4. Forging the Young Prince. With the world completely protected and established, we transition over to Scene 6, where the prophecy begins to physically manifest in the growing prince. And the young prince's curriculum inside the palace courtyard is highly specific. The prompt doesn't just say, show him growing up. It asks for distinct, concrete actions: training with wooden swords, practicing horse riding, learning archery, and engaging in royal studies with teachers. This deliberate instruction guarantees that both his physical, martial prowess and his intellectual development are clearly visualized for the audience. But here's the question. How do you prompt an AI to show an internal, abstract trait like determination? Well, the creator solves this with some pretty brilliant visual cues. They ask for slow-motion action, cinematic close-ups, and warm sunlight to highlight the young prince's confidence and intelligence. Using slow motion gives the audience the actual time to register the young boy's facial expressions, basically translating the prompt's request for determination into a tangible, deeply cinematic visual. It's not just action, it's character building. Section 5. Vision of the Horizon. Let's take a look at this final piece of visual direction in Scene 7, which brings this chronological breakdown to its natural cinematic conclusion. His royal cape moves in the wind while the camera slowly pulls back to reveal the vast kingdom. The prompt sets the scene at sunset right on the Taragar fort walls. It calls for emotional orchestral music and an inspiring ending that naturally fades to black. The physical pullback of the camera is a classic Hollywood technique, used to show the hero facing their future, transitioning away from the intimacy of childhood and looking out at the vastness of the kingdom they must one day rule. It is a masterful, sweeping conclusion to an incredible set of instructions. Which leaves us with this final thought. As the sun sets on his childhood, what legends will this young prince forge beyond the horizon? It is truly fascinating to see how a carefully structured block of text, using smart constraints, lighting cues, camera movements, and really vivid sensory details, can direct an AI to weave such a powerful, cohesive, cinematic story. I really hope this explainer gave you a whole new appreciation for the art of the prompt. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive today, and keep seeking out those great stories.